Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 30th, 2023. Hard to believe. I can't believe half of the year will be gone already. This is the time is really moving fast, folks. Okay, let's see. I hope everybody is enjoying the weather because it's the only weather you got, and also hope everybody has a great Friday uh, afternoon and evening, and everybody continue to stay safe and well also. Alrighty. Well, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the satellite loop here across the lower 48, the SAT-RAD imagery. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation, take a look at the watch and warning advisory map for your location, and also we're going to take a look at some severe weather probability for the next 4 days to come. So if you want to stick around through the entire video, that would be great. So that way you won't miss any detailed forecast from the Mike Bass Weather Forecast channel. Alrighty, if you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos, and let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started here. As you can see here, we got a cluster of showers and thunderstorms moving through Tennessee into northern Georgia, the Appalachian Mountains. Also, we got another little system rounding the bend here, moving around through a portion of Illinois, move through Indiana and Ohio, back through Kentucky and West Virginia, North Carolina, later on this afternoon and tonight, as a high pressure ridge is pretty much centered right about here where I just marked that H out. But I'm going to circle it right in here. The center of the ridge is currently over Arkansas and also portion of Louisiana and Mississippi. And everything is just pretty much just rotating around the high pressure ridge. So like a clock, with a high pressure ridge go clockwise, low pressure system always clockwise. So if you ever see on a map the storm rotated this way like my mouse is going, that is counterclockwise. That is a rotation of a low pressure system. Right now, high pressure is in control, and everything will rotate around clockwise around high pressure. We got some scattered activity off the Atlantic east coast here, moving up toward Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Also some up here in portions of southern Canada and the northeastern U.S. Iowa and back in the portion of Nebraska and Kansas. Also over in portions of South Dakota. We got another little system here in southern Canada. It looks like it's going to kind of just rotate across this area here. May clip portions of North Dakota and northern Minnesota later today as the day wears on. Alright, and we got high pressure still in charge of the west coast. Still dry for you guys over there as well. Alright, let's move on to the weather radar across the nation. As you can see here across the board here, we got scattered showers up here around Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, up toward Maine. Also, we got more widespread showers up here around Toronto, Canada, and back into the Montreal area there as well. Also around southern Canada and southwestern Canada there as well. There's that little cluster of showers and storms you see on the satellite loop moving through North Georgia. We got some scattered activity off the Outer Banks of North Carolina, the southeast United States coast. There's that other little cluster of showers and storm moving through Illinois. We'll continue to round the base of the high pressure ridge down in this region here, around Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas. We got scattered activity over northern Mexico, New Mexico, and also in Oklahoma. Also into portions of Colorado, Wyoming. Also into South Dakota, Kansas, and Nebraska. And also in the portion of Iowa there as well. Scattered activity down in the Gulf, scattered activity around the Bahamas, also scattered activity in the Puerto Rico Islands, also in the Cuba area as well. Scattered activity around the Hawaiian Chain Islands, some central and south Alaska, got a few scattered showers, mainly in the coastal waters area. Guam, got a few scattered showers around the island there as well. Alright. Let's move on to the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. You can see we still had that air quality alerts extending from portions of New Hampshire all the way down into Connecticut, Washington, D.C., New York area, down toward Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia region, also into portions of Ohio, and also into West Virginia. All of you guys in West Virginia got poor air quality alerts there as well. Also in North Carolina, still North Carolina, still around the Atlanta metro area as well. Indiana, also Michigan, air quality alerts there as well. Northern Michigan there as well. We got a flood advisory over portions of East Tennessee. The heat advisory still ongoing over here in Alabama, also into Louisiana, eastern southeast Texas, eastern southern Illinois, southwestern Indiana, western Kentucky, west Tennessee, southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, all the way into Arkansas, east Texas, northern Louisiana, southern Louisiana, and all of Mississippi, and west central Alabama. Alright, also heat advisory down in southeast Texas. Also got some special weather statements there as well. Heat advisory is also in effect for a couple counties in west Texas, southern portion of New Mexico. Flood advisory in the portions of Colorado. Flood watches in effect for western Nebraska, eastern portions of Wyoming. River flood warning still in effect for South Dakota over toward Nevada. We got some special weather statements over in portions of Washington State, Oregon. Heat advisory for southern Oregon and northern California. Special statements also still in effect for portions of California and Nevada. Flood watches also there in portions of California. Also we have excessive heat watches also in effect. I mean, it's, let's see, let me make sure. Yeah, excessive heat warnings also over here in portions of Arizona and two portions of Southern California, Central California, and Northern California. Heat advisories also for Southern Oregon, all the way through western portions and western portions of California, down in the southern portions area as well. Alaska got a few special weather statements there, and the Hawaiian chain island looks a-okay. Still got that tropical storm warning down west coast of Mexico. Okay, let's click on today's forecast and we're going to go through them. Okay, as you can see, we got general thunderstorm from Maine all the way through the Carolinas, down into northern Florida, also down in southern Florida, Florida Keys, all the way over towards Louisiana, Mississippi, back into Texas, all the way back up to Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, all the way into Michigan, all the way back into Pennsylvania, New York State as well. Marginal risk extends all the way from Virginia, West Virginia, to the Carolinas, Georgia, all the way back into Mississippi, back into West Texas, all the way back up to ports of southeast Wyoming, all the way back over to Ohio. Slight risk extending all the way from Georgia, all the way back into Texas, also in Oklahoma and Colorado. If you live in Nashville, Tennessee, Kansas City, Missouri, Colorado Springs, Colorado, St. Louis, Missouri, and Aurora, Colorado, you are under a slight risk for severe weather today. If you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Denver, Colorado, Atlanta, Georgia, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather this afternoon and today. Alright, tornado probability, 2% in the green, 5% in the brown. And if you live 5%, no major population center is at risk. But if you're in the countryside, you need to take heed the warning. If a tornado warning is issued for your location, need to take a warning by the NOAA weather radio or your cell phone. And if you live in St. Louis, Missouri, Evansville, Indiana, Clarksville, Tennessee, Pablo, Colorado, and Columbia, Missouri, you're under a 2% risk for a tornado. Alright, the wind probability, 5% in the brown, 15% in the yellow. In the yellow slashed area, that's the significant severe weather for damaging winds. And if you live in St. Louis, Missouri, Evansville, Indiana, St. Charles, Missouri, Owensboro, Kentucky, St. Petersburg, Missouri, you're under a significant severe weather for damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. If you live in Nashville, Tennessee, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, and surrounding areas, 15% risk. Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Denver, Colorado, Atlanta, Georgia, a 5% risk for damage and wind. Alright, hail probability for today, still same areas, 5% from Georgia back to Texas, and the 15% generally in the same areas. The significant severe hail will be St. Louis, Missouri, St. Charles, Missouri, St. Petersburg, Missouri, Florissant, Missouri, Chesterfield, Missouri, for significant hail over 2 inches in diameter. If you live in Colorado Springs, Colorado, St. Louis, Missouri, Aurora, Colorado, Palo, Colorado, Highland Ranch, Colorado, you at 15% risk. And if you live in Denver, Colorado, Nashville, Tennessee, Kansas City, Missouri, Atlanta, Georgia, and Omaha, Nebraska, you're under a 5% risk for large hail over 2 inches in diameter. Alright, here's a look at the outlook for your Saturday. As you can see, we still got general thunderstorm from Maine to Florida, all the way to the Florida Keys, to Mississippi, to Texas, all the way to Oklahoma, Wyoming, and also into Oregon State, also into California, marginal risk from New Mexico, all the way into portions of the Northeast through New York State, down in South Carolina, through Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. Slight risk in the yellow, enhanced risk there in the orange. Yellow, orange, Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, St. Charles, Missouri. You're in the enhanced risk for severe weather. If you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, you are in a slight risk for severe weather on your Saturday. And if you live in Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Omaha, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, and Cleveland, Ohio, you are under a marginal risk for severe weather on your Saturday. Tornado probability for your Saturday, 2% in the green. And if you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, and Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, 2 in the green area. Alright, winds, 5% from the northeast, all the way back into Texas and New Mexico, down into the Carolinas and Georgia and Alabama, 15% in the yellow, and also 30% in the red. And if you're in the St. Louis area, St. Louis, Missouri area, Louisville, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, St. Charles, Missouri, you're in a 30% chance for damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. If you're in Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, you're in a 15% risk for severe weather in your area. Also Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, and Cleveland, Ohio, you're in a 5% risk for damaging winds. Hail probability, 5% from the Carolinas all the way back to Texas, 15% in the yellow. If you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, 15% risk for large hail. Chicago, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Omaha, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, you are under a 5% risk for large hail. Alright, moving on to day number 3. Alright, general thunderstorm from Maine to Florida, Florida Keys, all the way into Texas, all the way back into New Mexico, back into Northern California, also into Montana, back into Minnesota. We have a marginal risk in portions of Minnesota, back into portions of Montana, over here in portions of Colorado, down in New Mexico and Texas, also over here from Illinois back to portions of New York State, all the way down into portions of Virginia, slight risk in the yellow, extending from Illinois to the east coast there around Washington, D.C. If you're in the slight risk area, this includes Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C. You're in a slight risk for severe weather. If you're in New York, Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, Newark, New Jersey, you're under a marginal risk for severe weather on your Sunday. Alright, probability, 5% in the brown, 15% in the yellow. If you're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C. You're under 15% chance for severe weather. 5%. New York, Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, and Newark, New Jersey. That would be 5%. Let's take a look at day 4 because we do have some severe weather to talk about for day number 4. And then we're going to wrap up the video. Okay, day number 4, got a 15% up here in Minnesota, back in South Dakota and North Dakota. And if you live in Fargo, North Dakota, Bismarck, North Dakota, Grand Fork, North Dakota, Moorhead, Minnesota, and Aberdeen, South Dakota, you have a 15% risk for severe weather coming up on your Monday. Alrighty. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this weather forecast. Continue to stay safe and well. Enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and consider subscribing, and we will catch you back in the next one.